day, everyone. Today we will learn about finding the greatest common factor, or the GCF, and the least common multiple, or the LCM. I am Teacher Cherry, your math teacher. What is the difference between a factor and a multiple? Factors are what we multiply to get the number. Example, 2 and 3 are factors of 6 because 2 times 3 is equals to 6. Multiple are what we get after multiplying the number. Example, 12 is a multiple of 6 because 6 times 2 is equals to 12. How would you find the greatest common factor of 60 and 96? We have different methods to find for the greatest common factor. There are actually 3 ways. You can use listing method, prime factorization, or continuous division. For listing method, we will get the GCF of 60 and 96. We will list down all factors of 60. How do we get for the factors of 60? 1 times 60 is equals to 60. 2 times 30 is equals to 60. 3 times 20 is equals to 60. 4 times 15 is equals to 60. 5 times 12 is equals to 60. And 6 times 10 is equals to 60. Then, list down all the factors of 96. Then, look for the common factor. What are the common factors that you can see? Correct, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. But among all these common factors, which is the greatest or the biggest number? Correct, it is 12. So, the greatest common factor of 60 and 96 is 12. Let us have the second method, which is prime factorization. We will list down all the factors. Factors of 60 is 2 and 30. Factor of 30 are 2 and 15. And factor of 15 are 3 and 5. So these are all the prime numbers or prime factors. 96, the factor are 2 and 48. Then 2 and 24. Factor of 24 are 2 and 12. Factor of 12 are 2 and 6. And factor of 6 are 2 and 3. Then, look for the common factor. For this, these are pair. Next pair, and another pair. Then, we list all the pairs or the common factor. 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So the greatest common factor is 12. How about the next method? For continuous division, we will think for a common factor that can be divided to 60 and 96, starting from the lowest. So 2 can be divided by both 60 and 96. 60 divided by 2 is equals to 30, and 96 divided by 2 is equals to 48. Then, think of a factor that can be divided to both 30 and 48. Can we divide 2? Yes. So 30 divided by 2 is equals to 15, and 48 divided by 2 is equals to 24. Then, think of a factor can be divided to both 15 and 24. Yes, 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5 and 24 divided by 3 is 8. Is 5 and 8 has a common factor? None. So, we will stop there. So, we will multiply all the common factor. So, 2 times 2 times 3 is equals to 12. So, 12 is the greatest common factor. Let us go now to multiple. A number that is the product of a given number and a whole number. Example, 10 times 1 is equals to 10, 10 times 2 is equals to 20, and 10 times 3 is equals to 30, 10 times 4 is equals to 40. So the multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40. Least common multiple. The least number other than 0 that is a multiple of 2 or more given numbers. Example, list method. Multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36. The multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, and 54. So, the common multiple or the least, when we say least, it is the smallest multiple. Which is the smallest multiple? Smallest common multiple is 18. There are also 3 ways to find the LCM. First is the list the multiples of the numbers or listing method. Second is the multiply the numbers times each other and divide by the GCF. Last is the continuous division. Let us find the LCM of 12 and 18. For listing method, we list all the multiple of 12. These are 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and 72. Then, list down all the multiples of 18. 18, 36, 54, 72, 90, 108. But, do we have common multiple? Yes, so the least common multiple is 36. So the smallest multiple the two numbers have in common is the least common multiple. How about prime factorization? Just like in the GCF, we factors the given number. The factors of 12 are 3 and 4. 4 can be factored again by 2 and 2. Next, the factor of 18 is 2 and 9, and the factor of 9 is 3 and 3. So we look for the common factor. Yes, so 2 and 2 are common. Also 3. But unlike in getting the greatest common factor, we list down only the pairs. But here, in getting the LCM, we list down all the pairs and the remaining prime factors. So the common factors, which are 2 and 3, and the remaining factors are 2 and 3. So we will multiply all of them. 2 times 3 is equals to 6, times 2 is equals to 12, times 3 is equals to 36. So the least common multiple will be 36. Divide by the GCF method. Find the LCM of 12 and 18. First, find the greatest common factor by listing all factors or use your favorite method. So, the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. The factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. So, the greatest common factor will be 6. Then, multiply the two given numbers. 12 times 18 is equals to 216. Then, divide the product by the greatest common factor. 216 divided by 6 is equals to 36. Our least common multiple is 36. How about continuous division? For continuous division, we think of a factor that can be divided by both 12 and 18. So 2 can be divided, 12 can be divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. Then think of another factor that can be divided to both 6 and 9. So 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So unlike in getting the greatest common factor, we only list down the common factor. But here, we list down the common factor and the remaining factors. So which are? The common factor are 3 and 2, and the remaining factors are 2 and 3. So we list down all of them. So 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 36. So the LCM will be 36. Which is the easiest way for you in getting the LCM? Correct. It is continuous division. Let us have another example in getting the GCF and LCM of two given numbers using both continuous division. In getting the GCF, we write the two given number and then think of a factor that can be divided to both 8 and 36. So we will start from 2. 8 divided by 2 is equals to 4 and 36 divided by 2 is equals to 18. Then think again a factor that can be divided to both 4 and 18. 2 again, so 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we do not have any more common factor. So what are the common factor? Correct. They are 2 and 2. So we multiply 2 times 2 is equals to 4. So 4 will be the greatest common factor. How about the LCM of 8 and 36? So again, we think of a common factor that can be divided both 8 and 36. 2. 8 divided by 2 is equals to 4 and 36 divided by 2 is equals to 18. Then think again of a factor that can be divided to both 4 and 18. 2 again, 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 18 divided by 2 is 9. But unlike in getting the greatest common factor, we list only the common factor. But in the LCM, we included the remaining factors. So the common factor are 2 and 2 and the remaining factors are 2 and 9. So we list them all. So we multiply them. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 9 is 72. So 72 is the LCM. Did you get the correct answer? That's great. Now, GCF and LCM in problem solving. How can you tell if a word problem requires you to use greatest common factor or least common multiple to solve? What is the question asking us? So if it is a GCF, do we have to split things into smaller sections? Are we trying to figure out how many people we can invite? Or are we trying to arrange something into rows or groups? These are all questions in answering greatest common factor. Let us have an example. We will apply what we have learned. Samantha has two pieces of cloth. One piece is 72 inches wide and the other piece is 90 inches wide. She wants to cut both pieces into strips of equal width that are as wide as possible. How wide should she cut the strips? First, what is being asked in the problem? How wide should she cut the strips so that they are at largest possible equal length? How about the given? The pieces of cloth are 72 and 90 inches wide. And the operation to be used? This problem can be solved using greatest common factor because we are cutting or dividing the strips of cloth into smaller pieces. Those are factors of 72 and 90. So we will use continuous division. So the operation to be used is division. For the solution, we will find the GCF of 72 and 90. We think of a factor that can be divided to both 72 and 90. 2. 72 divided by 2 is equals to 36, and 90 divided by 2 is equals to 45. Think of a factor that can be divided by both 36 and 45. Correct, it is 3. 36 divided by 3 is equals to 12, and 45 divided by 3 is equals to 15. Think of a factor that can be divided by both 12 and 15. Correct, it is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Is there a common factor that can be divided by both 4 and 5? No more. So, we will get the common factor. We multiply 2 times 3 is equals to 18. So the answer will be 18 inches wide. Did you get the correct answer? Very good. How about if it is an LCM problem? What is the question asking us? Do we have an event that is or will be repeating over and over? Or will we have to purchase or get multiple items in order to have enough? Or are we trying to figure out when something will happen again at the same time? These are all LCM problems, or these are questions to be answered by getting the LCM. Let us have an example. Ben exercises every 12 days and Isabella or Isabel every 8 days. Ben and Isabel both exercise today. How many days will it be until they exercise together again? What is being asked? How many days it is until they will both exercise on the same day again? And what are the given? Ben exercises every 12 days and Isabel every 8 days, and they both exercise today. For the operation to be used, this problem can be solved using least common multiple. So we are trying to figure out when will be the next time they are exercising together. Use continuous division. So the operation to be used is division. For the solution, let us find the LCM of 12 and 8. What factor can be divided by both 12 and 8? Correct. 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6 and 8 divided by 2 is 4. What factor can be divided to both 6 and 4? Correct. 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3 and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Do we have a factor that can be divided by both to both 3 and 2? No more. But in getting the LCM, we do not only list down the common factor, we also list down the remaining factors. So we will multiply 2 times 2 times 3 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So, the answer, Ben and Isabel would exercise on the same day every 24 days. It's time for the quiz. On a sheet of paper for test A, tell whether the following word problems could be solved using GCF or LCM. And for test B, tell whether the following word problems could be solved using the GCF or the LCM, then solve for the answer. Test A, you will only write if the problems can be solved using GCF or LCM. So your answer would be only GCF or LCM. Pause the video for 5 minutes and then after 5 minutes, we will check. Now, let us check your answers. For number 1, we could solve the problem using GCF. For number 2, GCF. For number 3, we can solve it using LCM. And for number 4, we could solve it using LCM. How about for test letter B? Tell whether the following word problems could be solved using GCF or LCM. And then find the answer. Pause the video for 5 minutes. Then, after 5 minutes, we will check. Now, let us check your answers. For number 1, we could solve the problem using LCM. The answer will be 72-inch train truck. For number 2, we could solve the problem using GCF. The answer would be 10 rows. There are 5 apple trees and 3 peach trees per row. For number 3, we could solve it using LCM. And the answer is every 36 seconds. And for the last one, we could answer it using GCF. And the answer would be 7 meters. Did you get all correct answers? Very good. Congratulations, kids! Now you are ready to answer your module. Good luck!